We are definitely in the swing of fall. However, I know some of you all are like me and the fall temperatures are just not cooperating with you. So if that is you, this video is for you. In this video, I'll be sharing with you fragrances for hot fall, as I like to call it. If you're interested, then just keep watching. My name is Ayesha from simplyayesha.com. Here on YouTube, I make videos about fragrance, beauty, luxury, and lifestyle. If those are things you're interested in, please subscribe. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So as I said, in today's video, we'll be talking about fragrances for hot fall, meaning you want fall vibes, but the temperature outside is not making it easy to wear these heavy fall scents. For me, I love fall fragrances and winter fragrances. I love the deep spicy, I love the sweet, I love the gourmand, I love all of those things. But if I'm going to be outside, I have to be aware of what the temperature is, because I personally cannot wear something that is super heavy, thick, or sweet out and about when it's hot outside. So for us, like right now, we're actually getting a nice little Florida fall. I mean, it's not cold, but it's not as hot as it was like just a month or so ago. So I'm enjoying that. But at the same time, like I'm still not at that point where I can wear my thick, heavy gourmands and be okay with it. Now, if you're just staying inside in air conditioner, I say wear what you want. But if you're going to go outside, or if you're out and about like my life typically is, I have to be mindful of those things. And air conditioner, if I know I'm going to be in air conditioner all day, I'm good, because my house is cold. Wherever I'm going to be is going to be cold. But a lot of times I have to get outside and like walk my child to school and all these other things. So I'm not the type of person that I'm just really like inside all day, and I don't have a desk job where most of my day is, you know, at a computer in an air conditioned area. So let's go ahead and get into these fragrances. So I'm going to start with a fragrance that actually inspired me to do this video. This one is from Nobel 1942, and this is La Danza del Libellule. So this fragrance is absolutely gorgeous. I think I featured this in my fragrances and I'm excited to wear for fall, but I wanted to mention it again because, like I said, it inspired this video. I actually wore it this past weekend to a fall festival, and I felt like it was perfect. So this fragrance to me is like caramel apple cider. So it doesn't have a caramel note, but to me it definitely smells like a sweet caramel candied apple. But I say cider because it gives me that like sparkling nature that you get from like sparkling apple cider. It smells so delicious, but it's done in this very transparent, like sparkling way so that it never feels heavy. This fragrance is pretty sweet, and the apple to me is definitely the most prominent note. But again, it's not very heavy. So even though like I was outside, I literally wore it to a farm, y'all. Animals, everything, but I was smelling good and I was feeling the fall vibes. And I love this fragrance for that reason. Like, not only does it smell good, it smells nostalgic, it smells like fall, but it doesn't suffocate me. I don't think it would ever bother others because it's just not that heavy of a scent. And I think overall, if you live in a warmer climate, or even if like say you're watching this video in the summer and you want something that gives you fall vibes but it's hot outside, I still feel like all these fragrances will work because they will be perfect for those fall feels when the weather won't cooperate. So again, that is La Danza del Libellule from Nobel 1942. This next fragrance is from Celine, and this is Zuzu. So this is the newest release from Celine. I do have a video where I compare this to Black Tie. So I will link that video for you all if you're interested up in the cards, and I'll also leave a link in the description box. So this is for the people that love a good vanilla almond powdery scent, because that's what this is. So this is, like I said, vanilla, but the vanilla in here is not extremely sweet or overpowering. It's more of a sophisticated, slightly leaning gourmand vanilla. And then the almond in here is powdery. It is sweet, it is nutty, but it's not too much of any of those things. So I find that as long as you can get down with like a powdery almond, you will probably really enjoy this. Now, a lot of times when I smell powdery scents, I feel like I can't wear them when it's hot outside because they get to be overwhelming. Like the powderiness of it all feels very thick. but not in this one. This one feels thin. I got this one maybe at the beginning of the summer or the end of the spring, and I have worn it on days when I've been outside. I mean, this is not something I would wear to like the zoo or anything because I just feel like it's a little too fancy. But if I wanted to, I definitely could, because it's one of those fragrances that is just not very heavy. That is a recurring theme apparently. It's not very heavy, but it definitely sticks around. It is long lasting. You are able to smell it in your scent bubble, but it's not overpowering or anything like that. The only thing I will say is that if you are sensitive to almond scents, you're not gonna like this. So if you don't like almond, don't even look at this one. But if you love a good like powdery vanilla almond type scent, this is one you definitely should check out. It's done in a very sophisticated way. So even though I'm just saying like vanilla almond powdery, it's done in an elevated manner and it smells luxurious. So again, that is Celine Zuzu. This next fragrance is from Xerjoff, and this is Naxos. So this fragrance I feel like is a classic at this point. However, I will still say, even though I do see some women talking about this fragrance now, I still see more men that talk about Naxos. So I'm here to tell you, ladies, you can wear this too, okay? So Naxos is a sweet honey tobacco scent. It also has some spices in here, and it opens up with a bit of lavender that I will say that at first spray, you may think leans masculine. However, this is one you definitely need to wear on your skin. I found that when I wore this on my skin compared to my husband wearing it on his skin, it smelled differently. So definitely, if this sounds like something you would like, try it on your skin before you just say, oh no, I can't wear that. This is a beautiful scent. The honey in this is so like sweet, but like pure smelling. And then the tobacco in here is present, but it's not thick or smoky tobacco. It smells more like tobacco leaf or something like that, where you're getting those spices, but I still feel like there's a little bit of like greenness or freshness to it. It is absolutely gorgeous and it performs so well. You do not need a lot of this. This is one you definitely could wear when it's super cold outside, but you can wear it when it's hot outside as well. I have worn this in the summer. I've worn it spring, fall, and winter. It works for every season in my opinion. And to me, it smells a little bit different in the warmer weather than it does in the colder weather. So if you're looking for that spicy, like cinnamon, tobacco, honey type smell, but you don't want something that's going to overpower you, I would say definitely check out Naxos, but do not overspray. I know I overspray almost everything. I do not overspray this one because it does not need it. And sometimes more is not more. More is too much, okay? Sometimes you can have too much of a good thing, and overspraying something that really doesn't require it can sometimes cause you not to like stuff. So just putting that out there, this is not one you need to overspray. This is one that you can be mindful with your sprays and still really, really enjoy it. So again, that is Naxos from Xerjoff. This next fragrance is one that's kind of newer to me. I've only worn it maybe like once or twice, but this is from Chris Collins, and this is African Rooibos. So this fragrance is based on African Rooibos tea, I believe. I personally have never smelled that. I've never drank Rooibos tea. I am not a tea drinker. But when I smell this, it definitely smells like tea. So to me, this smells like a warm, herbal, aromatic, very like expensive tea. It doesn't smell like black tea to me or green tea. It smells like an herbal tea that like is not a tea bag. It's the leaves or however y'all be making tea, y'all. It smells like something very high quality. I don't know if y'all remember Teavana stores, but I've never been a tea drinker, but I used to love to walk by the Teavana store, because when you would walk by that store, like you would just smell all these rich like spices and flavors, and it smelled exotic. And that's what this is giving, y'all. It is so good. This fragrance makes me think of drinking like a warm cup of tea. And like I said, like even though that's not my thing, it still gives me those vibes. So I'm more of a hot chocolate, coffee drinker when it's cold, but the hot tea still gives me a vibe. And so for that reason, I feel like it's perfect for fall, but it's not too heavy. It has this freshness to it. It has a little bit of like smokiness to it, but not too much. But I just think that provides some depth to this fragrance. It's really gorgeous. And like I said, this would be perfect for fall, winter. Pretty much, you could probably wear this any time of year if you really love tea scents. But for me, when I smell this, I think of fall and I think of leaves changing color and all that. Like the typical fall picture that you would think of. Even though we don't get that in my area, I still get that picture in my mind when I smell this fragrance. So again, that is African Rooibos by Chris Collins. This next fragrance is one I have not worn in a while, but I definitely thought it fit this video. So this one is from L'Artisan Parfumer, and this is Noir Exquise. So this is one of their older fragrances, and actually this is in the old packaging. The newer bottles are black, I believe, with the white label, if I remember correctly. But yeah, this is one of their older bottles, but to my knowledge, this smells the same in the newer bottle as it does in my bottle. Anyway, this fragrance is a sweet, nutty, vanillic type scent. It also has some woodiness to this. Whenever I smell this fragrance, even though I try not to, I cannot help but think of it as a much lighter, easier going By the Fireplace by Maison Margiela. I feel like most of you all have smelled this, and to me, this smells like its cousin that is much more easygoing and much lighter and has a sparkling nature to it. So I get like a little tiny bit of smokiness in this fragrance, but not a lot. I also feel like I get a little booziness. I get some nuttiness. I think it's chestnut that's in this fragrance. And it gives me chestnuts roasting over an open fire vibes. But not so literal. It's almost like more perfumey than that. So if By the Fireplace is something that didn't work for you because it's just too much, it's too literal, it's too like sweet and all that, if you like the ideal of that fragrance, this may be one that you want to get your nose on. It is beautiful. It's not talked about a lot, but on the skin, it wears very well. And again, it has that kind of transparent, sparkling nature so that it never feels too heavy, although it definitely gives me fall vibes. So again, that is Noir Exquise from L'Artisan Parfumer. This next fragrance is from Tom Ford, and this is Vanilla Sex. Now, I know my bottle looks different. I actually talked about this in my most recent video, but this is a Tom Ford atomizer, and y'all, let's have a moment for this beauty, okay? Why, Tom Ford, did you discontinue these? So this is one of their atomizers that is discontinued. It's a 30 ml size, has a magnetic cap. It feels very luxurious and fancy. And a lot of you all may know that I bought the Vanilla Sex Carafe. I initially bought it in like the regular 50 ml bottle. I used that up and now I have the carafe. And one thing that bothered me about the carafe is that it doesn't come with an atomizer. Like, how cheap are y'all, Tom Ford? Like, we're paying so much money for the carafe. Give us the atomizer. So it doesn't come with an atomizer. I knew the cosmetic company store near me always has these, like a few in stock, even though this product is actually discontinued. At first, I didn't want to buy this because I still feel like even at the cosmetics company store, it costs too much, you know? But I will say, since I got this, as opposed to just using my regular little Amazon atomizer that I was using, I want to wear it more because it feels more luxurious. It feels like a Tom Ford product. It doesn't feel like I put my expensive behind perfume into a cheap little bottle from Amazon. I don't know. That may just be me. But anyway, we're not here to talk about the bottle, but I figured I would share that with y'all because it doesn't say Vanilla Sex on it, because you could put whatever fragrance you want in here. Anyway, this is Tom Ford Vanilla Sex. And I love it, okay? It is another vanilla almond scent, but this one has some florals in here and a slight bit of an animalic touch and a milkiness to this fragrance. So if you don't like milky fragrances, I really don't think you're going to like this. If you see the name Vanilla Sex and you think it's only going to be vanilla, you're not gonna like this, okay? Because the almond is probably more prominent than the vanilla in this fragrance for me. But the vanilla is still done so well. It's sweet, it's milky, but it's not extremely gourmand. To me, this leans more sexy, and I know a lot of people disagree, but I will say there is something so addictive about this fragrance to me. This was actually a love at first sniff for me. I do have a video talking about this fragrance, and my problem with the fragrance has nothing to do with how it smells. My problem was the performance, but apparently that didn't matter to me because I clearly kept wearing it. So at this point, I love it, okay? Don't at me, okay? Don't at me. I love it. You don't have to, but I love it. And I think it is perfect for this time of year because it's giving you that vanilla vibe, that sexy vanilla vibe, but it's not super heavy. It don't last long either, but that's neither here or there. It's not super heavy. If you have this fragrance, pull it out, use it. I'm not saying go out and buy this fragrance because I do think it's overpriced for what it is, even though I love it. But if you have this fragrance, use it, girl. This is like the perfect time of year for me to wear this. Fall vibes all the way. So again, that is Vanilla Sex from Tom Ford. The next fragrance is from Alexander J, and this is the Majestic Amber. So as the name would imply, yes, this is an amber scent. However, this opens up with this kind of bright fruitiness, and the fruitiness in here, I'm not sure what it is, but if I had to guess, I would say maybe like peach or nectarine or something like that. But it's really hard for me to tell what kind of fruitiness is there. But there's definitely this bright, sweet, like resinous fruitiness to this. But I wouldn't call it a fruity scent at the opening or anything because the amber is definitely there. So you're getting a very like honeyed, resinous amber, but it's not super thick. It's not animalic. And then you have these fruits that are mixed in within that gives it a bit of lightness. This is so unique. It is so unique. It's not going to be for everybody because it is quite unique, but I think if you like your amber scents, especially sweeter amber scents, this is one you definitely should smell. I don't think it's overly spicy. I could see a man wearing this as well, but to me, when I smell it, I think it leans more feminine, and I think that's just because of the fruits. But I definitely could see a man wearing this. So if you're a man and you have tried this fragrance and like it, let us know in the comments below. But y'all, this is so good, and I never hear people talking about this, but it is so good. It wears so well on the skin. I feel like on the skin, it really just blossoms and opens up, and that's even in the heat. Now, I've never worn this on a super cold day, so I don't know how it holds up in a super cold day because I don't think it's extremely strong, but I feel like the way it smells, you could probably overspray this and wear it on a cold day as well. But for me, this is definitely giving hot fall vibes. Definitely hot fall vibes. So again, that is Majestic Amber from Alexander J. The next fragrance is from Jo Malone, and this is Ginger Biscuit. So this fragrance I've had for a long time. Obviously not this bottle. This bottle I got last year, but my first bottle of this I purchased in 2017, y'all. And this fragrance always reminds me of Thanksgiving. So I personally am not wearing this fragrance right now because for me, it's more like end of fall around the holidays. But I definitely think it's hot fall appropriate because it reminds me of a ginger snap. So you're getting the ginger, you're getting a cookie vibe, but it's done in that Jo Malone way, meaning it's light, it's airy, it's not sickly sweet, it's not overpowering, it's giving you a little bit of spice, but not too much. You know, everything is very elegant and very restrained in this fragrance. And so although it's a gourmand, it's a Jo Malone gourmand. It's not giving sickly sweet, thick, extremely creamy, none of that, but it definitely gives me fall vibes. So I'll tell y'all a little story about this fragrance. The reason I remember that I got it in 2017 is because I remember purchasing this. I had heard about it, I think like the year before or something like that, but then when I searched for it, it was gone for the year. So at that point, I think they were releasing it like every year around like fall time, right? So one day I was nursing my daughter. I was breastfeeding my daughter in the middle of the night. And if you've ever breastfed a child in the middle of the night, you know, it is sometimes hard to stay awake. And so for me, I would always have stuff to do. So I would either have these trivia games I would play on my phone or whatever, or I would internet shop, okay? And so one night, as I'm breastfeeding her in the middle of the night, I saw they had this in stock as I was internet shopping, and I purchased it. And so every time I smell this fragrance, it reminds me of those times when my daughter was a baby, when I was nursing her, when I worked for this company that I hated, but I needed the job and it served me well in that moment. It reminds me of all of that, and reminds me how far I've come. And it reminds me of just, like, I think I got it like right before Thanksgiving. So I'm pretty sure I wore it on Thanksgiving that year. And it just reminds me of that. So even though I'm not personally wearing this one yet, because I'm saving it for at least November, I definitely think you could wear this anytime you want. It's never going to be like too heavy or anything like that, no matter how hot it is. And it definitely gives fall vibes. So again, that is Jo Malone Ginger Biscuit. This next fragrance is from Obvious Parfums, and this is Un Vanille. So this is a vanilla fragrance, and the vanilla in here is creamy and sweet. almost like slightly lactonic, but not so much. So it's giving me more of like a ice cream sweetness. But then you have these spices in here. You have this woodiness in here. But the spiciness and woodiness to me give off almost like a molecular vibe type scent. So fragrances like Another 13, Angel Dust, Molecule 01, those type of like woody molecular scents, this smells like a vanilla version of that. I don't know if this has any of those notes like ambroxan or whatever in here, but it definitely gives off that type of vibe, but mixed with like this creamy vanilla scent that is not overpowering. It's not super heavy. This is like an easygoing, cool girl vanilla in my opinion. So if you're not a huge vanilla lover, but you like the ideal of vanilla, this may be something that you would enjoy. I love it, and it definitely gives fall vibes. So again, that is Un Vanille from Obvious Parfums. This next fragrance is from Givenchy, and this is Pie. So this is an oldie but a goodie in my opinion. I rediscovered this fragrance maybe last year, I think, but this is something that's actually nostalgic for me. My mom used to have this back in the day. And yeah, every time I smell it, I think about her. So anyway, this is a spicy, aromatic, creamy vanilla type scent. I don't even want to call this a vanilla because I feel like when you call it a vanilla, people expect a lot of vanilla. And yes, vanilla is the base of this fragrance and it's the thing that melds everything together. But I wouldn't necessarily call it a vanilla. To me, it's more of a spicy type scent. So the spices in here kind of smell like Thanksgiving. It's giving like nutmeg, cinnamon type spices. This does have an aromatic touch to it, like lavender or something like that, that can give it a bit of a masculine smell. However, I will say on the skin, when I wear this, it just smells warm, cozy, and I don't really get too much lavender. I get more like warm, cozy spices, vanilla, warmth. Goodness, y'all. However, this is an eau de toilette. Now, I will say the eau de toilettes of back in the day, meaning like when this fragrance came out, I believe this came out in the 90s. I will say eau de toilettes back then were different than the eau de toilettes of today, okay? Because this thing lasts on me anyway. I wear this fragrance just like I would an eau de parfum. So on me, I'm getting maybe like 7 or 8 hours out of this, and it projects, but it's not extremely heavy. It's very like transparent nature. And I love that about this because I can wear this when it's warm. I can wear this when it's cold. It gives me fall cozy vibes, but it's not doing too much. It is so good, y'all. I do have a video where I compared this, where I did an in-depth review of this fragrance and compared it to Parfums de Marly Altair. So I will try to link that for you all so you can check it out if you want to know more. But I love this one, and bonus points because it gives me a nostalgic feeling. So again, that is Givenchy Pie. This next fragrance is from Maison Margiela, and this is Afternoon Delight. So this is their newest release. It's been getting a lot of traction here on YouTube and on Instagram, but I will say it does have mixed reviews. I thoroughly enjoy this fragrance. So I'm happy to have it, but this is giving like a milky, nutty cookie vibe to me. It gives me a little bit of vanilla, but for me, more so, this is about the nutty cookiness of it. And then the milky vibe is definitely there. So you have to like lactonic scents in order to like this. But all of that is done in this very like transparent, easy way. Again, this is another eau de toilette. I feel like when you smell it, it doesn't smell extremely concentrated. Like it smells good and gourmand and sweet, but it doesn't smell like extremely thick and heavy. It smells like a lightweight diet version of it, and I'm here for it. There is something so cozy and comforting about this scent to me. This is the type of scent that I have been liking to wear like when I'm like reading, when I'm cuddled up with a blanket or whatever. We keep our house pretty cold. So every day I pretty much have a blanket on at some point. And so yeah, I've been wearing this fragrance and it just gives me those cold weather vibes, but it's never too heavy. So I can wear this, walk outside, I'm absolutely fine. Like it's never doing the most, but it definitely makes me feel very cozy. You can see I've used up quite a bit because I've actually been using and wearing and loving this. So again, that is Afternoon Delight from Maison Margiela Replica. Right. And then this very last fragrance I wanted to include because I felt like it was perfect for this video, but I'm kind of doing it as an honorable mention, and I'll let you know why in a second. So the fragrance that we're talking about is Cirque du Soleil L'Eau Parfum. Now, this is a travel spray. I know you're gonna ask. I got this fragrance, this travel spray decant from Mercari, okay? So I don't know if it's gonna still be available on there. So if you're interested, maybe check out Mercari, or if y'all do Facebook groups or something, maybe somebody's selling decants, I don't know. But this fragrance, I love. I recently took this out of town with me, and this is giving circus vibes. Minus the animals. So you could definitely smell like this sweet caramel note in this fragrance, along with a buttery popcorn. And I will say that is the note that I was scared of. But in here, you definitely get that vibe of buttery popcorn. Like, you can smell it, but it's not offensive in any way. I don't really know how they did that. But it's done in a very mild manner. And then I also feel like I smell like a candied apple in here, and a vanilla base. And this fragrance is very easygoing. It is not extremely projecting or anything like that. I remember the first time I wore this, it was in the summer when I first got it. And I was worried that it may be too heavy, but y'all, it sits really close to the skin. So this is not gonna be your beast mode type fragrance. I don't know if this is something you're gonna wanna wear when it's winter, because I feel like it just is not gonna do anything. But if you have hot fall like me, and you wanna like have those carnival vibes, this is definitely something I think you should check out. My decant is all gone, and so I do have a full bottle on its way to me, because I had told myself that if I finished my decant and I loved it, then I would buy the full bottle, and I did. Like, after I finished my decant, I still wanted to wear it some more. So I do have a full bottle on the way to me, so you will be seeing that at some point soon. But y'all, it's really good, it's fun, it's easygoing. And I could see myself wearing this to like a pumpkin patch, or to any type of outdoor activity that's like centered around fall. Definitely if I was going to like the state fair or something like that, I feel like I would wear it for that as well. But it's just a beautiful, easygoing scent. So again, that is Cirque du Soleil L'Eau de Parfum. So those were the fragrances I wanted to share with you for hot fall. I hope you guys found this video helpful. And even if you live in an area where you're already like dropping temperatures, I was watching some video the other day, and I think somebody said it was like 40 degrees outside where they live, like Fahrenheit. And I was like, what already in October? Like, I couldn't imagine. But even if you live in one of those places where it's already cold, I still feel like these are some good fall options for you. But I had to do something for my people that live in hot areas like I do. So we can have fall vibes without suffocating ourselves, ladies. We don't have to be drenching ourselves in Bianco latte right now, okay? Please back off the Bianco latte right now if you're gonna be outside. Like, it's too much. It's too much. I'm just kidding. Y'all wear what y'all want. Anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you tried any of the fragrances that I mentioned. What did you think about them? Are any on your wish list? And if you're still watching this video, make sure you go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, turn the notification bell on so that you don't miss a video from me. Also, check me out everywhere else. That includes my website, www.simplyayesha.com, my Instagram, and my TikTok. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, and I would love for y'all to go along with me on this ride. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.